Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today I'm with Chase That Coin, Shaka Daniel. Hey man, say what's up to everybody.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Ken? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's long overdue, but better late than never.
Of course, yeah, dude, I've been following you forever. And we've been following each other on Twitter for even longer, so it's like crazy that it took this long, but I'm happy it's finally happened. And we were just talking previously off the air about white lighters and stoners and why stoners don't like white lighters. A lot of people that smoke weed will say a white lighter is bad luck, and when you ask them why, they never really know the answer. Well, I know the answer. The reason most people, and it's funny that stoners go harder with this, most people don't like white lighters because celebrities like Kurt Cobain and other, Elvis have been found dead with white lighters in their
Jimi
possession.
Hendrix.
Hmm?
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi
I did
Hendrix,
not know
yeah.
that. That
Yes.
that's a first. I did not know that.
So a lot of people that smoke weed don't like white lighters, but they don't even know why, dude. They just fall into that fucking group mentality and they don't even look into it.
I've never heard that, so that's a first.
Dude, I'm the kind of person that looks up why do we call those t-shirts, those A-frame t-shirts, wife beaters? I had to find out why, and I found out why totally off the convo, but some guy back in the early 90s was on TV, and he was on, like, cops being chased, and he was the wife beater because he was being, chased for domestic violence, and he had one of those shirts on. So from there on out, that's what society called the damn shirt.
Yes, I knew that one. I knew that one, but I never heard of the white lighter. Why or the reason why? So
Yeah, I'm always asking why about everything. People fucking hate me for it. I'm like a giant adult 5-year-old.
that's how you gotta be. That's how you gotta be if you want to learn anything, really. And that's like that's the perfect way to be in as far as cryptocurrency because you'll learn a lot like that.
Yeah, speaking of asking a bunch of questions, that's what brings us here today. So let's get on with that, bro. Could you please introduce yourself? I know most people probably know who you are already, but let people know who you are, maybe a little bit where you're from and how you got into Bitcoin, and then let us know how that got you to what you do in the industry now.
All right. Well, I'm Shaka Daniel, aka Chase That Coin. I've been involved in cryptocurrency for almost 3 years now. I bought my first Bitcoin back in 2015, either late January, early February. I can't remember. But the way that I found out about Bitcoin, well, first of all, I'm from New York City, Manhattan, New York, Harlem. Um, I found out about Bitcoin through playing poker. When I was younger, I wanted to be a professional poker player, so I played a lot of poker back in the full tilt poker stars days. So I wanted to be a poker player. So one of the options for one of the sites that I was playing on was Bitcoin at the time, but I just totally ignored it because the way that the process was, I had to go to CVS, buy these CVS cards, and I didn't want to do that when I could just go across the street and do Western Union at the time. So I just didn't really look into Bitcoin, but I heard about it. A couple years later, I was looking into just different ways to, store my value, whether it was silver a good investment. Just typing that in on YouTube. Is silver a good investment? Is Bitcoin a good investment? Um, and then no, no, well, not actually Bitcoin. Is silver or gold? And then I started to see the silver versus Bitcoin videos or the silver versus gold. And then I looked into it. I looked into it. Took me about 3 months of like really looking into it and being like kind of skeptical of it. And then one day I was just like, you know what? Whatever. I have an extra $400. Let me just buy some Bitcoin. I bought some Bitcoin. 2 days later, I was in a rabbit hole. So I was kind of really scared of how am I going to protect my Bitcoin, because that's the first thing that came to my head was, obviously a hacker or somebody could take this from me. So I looked into security. I found out about the Trezor. I bought a Trezor a few days later, and then fast forward and we're here now.
So, like, what do you do for a daily living besides the YouTube stuff? What happens behind the scenes in a daily life for Shaka Daniel?
Well, my daily life is oh, it's I have a really free schedule because I've been involved in multiple unions as far as New York City construction. So I have the luxury of being able to I can work for a few months and I can shelf my book or I can shelf my book for years if I want. So
Oh, okay.
what I do is I work for stretches of time, shelf my book. But cryptocurrency has been so crazy that I just had to shelf my book and just, like really try to tap into cryptocurrency. So my technical day job is I'm a union welder.
Oh, welding. Okay. Yeah, I tried doing that before. I blew a hole through some. It wasn't a pipe. It was like a 90-degree bent like metal frame, and we were
Hmm.
trying to weld it, tack weld it, to make a skateboard grind rail. And dude, as
Yes,
soon as I tapped it, it was just like boom, and it was just all. It looked like a metal volcano. I don't even know what
it's easy to
happened.
do that.
But then this other dude, he
It's easy
comes
to do
up
that.
and 5 seconds, done, and I couldn't even pull it apart. So, yeah, that's a good trade to have, man, especially for like ships. I heard a lot of
Yeah,
people make money
it's
on boats doing welding.
yeah. I mean, it's a good trade. It pays well, but I just never had the mentality of wanting to work for somebody else forever anyway. So no matter how good of a job I have, I'm just in the mentality of I don't want to work for
Hmm.
anybody else anyway.
That's a trade
So
mentality to have too. When people go and learn a trade, because that's a self-employable thing. You can work for yourself as soon as you know a trade, or you could work for a union, which is as close as you can get when it comes to not having to do all the paperwork yourself and stuff. What
exactly.
what made you start your YouTube channel? Like, what drew you to like, dude, I gotta talk about this, and I gotta talk about this on the internet.
Um, well, what made me make my YouTube channel is I started to see, you would back then Roger Ver, those videos were still like one of the main sources, Roger Ver talking about it. Um, Tizen talking about it. Tizen was really one of the big influences as far as me wanting to, you know, tell other people about it and help other people learn about it. And at the time, I thought that mining Bitcoin was a really great thing, so I genuinely thought that. Um, so I wanted to, you know, start a YouTube channel, talk about mining and talk about investing in Bitcoin. So my first video on YouTube was about me, how I found out about Bitcoin, and also I think it was either Bit Club or Genesis. I think it was Bit Club first, but it was a Bit Club network video, and I made a few of those, and then I started to I did my due diligence, and I started to really look into what how who's profiting off of it, and how are they profiting. And I saw that a lot of the guys, they were just really good multi-level marketing guys and they've done this multiple times, and they have a long downline, and that's how they're making the money. It's not really a cryptocurrency thing. So once I really noticed that about it, I deleted those videos. I stopped promoting Genesis Mining. I stopped promoting Bit Club Network, and I just focused on trading. And at that time, I started to really find out about Ethereum and Monero. Monero was like 25 cents or something like that. Ethereum, all these kind of other altcoins. And
For the record, not to get you off track, Monero's like 180 right now, just for reference. Go ahead, man.
I know, I know. So I started to find out about a lot of these projects, and then I started to talk about them. I talked about them a little bit, just my opinion, and little trading strategies, because I had always studied trading from doing a little trading in forex. So just trading strategies and cryptocurrencies that I thought was good. I commented on one of Tizen's videos. He, I guess he looked into my videos or my channel. He contacted me and invited me onto his channel, and then I really just he invited me on a couple more times. Then it just started happening. I started getting messages from ICOs wanting me to review them in different projects. Um, at the time, I was with my ex now. We broke up. After we broke up, I kind of like lost my desire to make content, not for cryptocurrency, because I was still involved in cryptocurrency. I still had all of my holdings, but I just lost the desire to make content. So I took a long break from making content. I watched a lot of really I watched a lot of interesting and some really good channels come about. And then, I decided to come back, and now here we are.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that, man, but I'm happy you're back at it, of course. I've been checking out some of your videos, and I wanted to ask, this is going a little forward in my lineup here, but I saw one of your videos about you don't use Bitcoin visas. And that was a
Yeah.
while back. Have you decided to use any yet? Have you decided, hey, I'm going to start using Bitcoin visas? Because to me, I'm so all in on Bitcoin, I have to. So I was just wondering where you stand on that now.
At the time when I made these videos, so a lot of these videos are older videos. These videos are from 9 months
Yeah, you're an
ago.
OG, man, so.
Yeah, so a lot of these videos, when I made these videos, like I said, a lot of these channels were not around, and a lot of these tokens weren't around. So there was no Monaco, there was no 10x, there was a lot of these things weren't around. So that video was specific to what was big at the time, which was Shift and those different things. So the way that those things worked, and the way that people were worried about, if I sell Bitcoin or if I buy anything with Bitcoin, I could be taxed upon that. So I may have to claim that on my taxes. People weren't sure about that. So at the time, between not knowing how to handle the taxes and me not being a big fan of the way Shift and those companies were, it basically was like a prepay kind of thing. I didn't think it was a great idea. Now with the 10x's and the Monacos, those may be a definite a better solution. Even though they are similar, but they may be a better solution. They do have a cryptocurrency aspect, and people can benefit from the cryptocurrency. We're both in America, so I can't give my opinion, my total opinion, on something like a 10x card, but I'm a little bit more open to it now. But
Mm-hmm.
that video was specific to Shift and things like that at the time.
Oh, when I first got my first whiff of BitPay and how it worked, I was so against it because of my philosophical stance in Bitcoin, because you had to sell the Bitcoin and preload the Visa, but Shift actually let you hold Bitcoin up until the exact moment you swiped. So I was gun-ho about Shift, and then BitPay not so much, but I basically work for Bitcoin now. So when I get it sent, sometimes I have to sell a giant amount and make sure it's already there, not affected by volatility, so I can pay my rent. So I've learned that all these visas do have, its play. And I like that some of them are working with IRS and taxes. So I get something in the mail to take with me to H&R Block and be like, here, help me figure this out. But yeah, it was sketchy at first when I first started hearing about like IRS taxes, Shapeshift, BitPay. Be careful how much you spend and how fast you spend it. I'm definitely we had B Money, shout out to this guy. He said he's been following us both since before Bitcoin hit 1,000. And we've been in it for a while, so like spending anything now almost feels like capital gains territory. So it's like, all right, maybe I'm gonna personally, like, this is me, I might not be buying Bitcoin as much anymore. Maybe I'll earn it, but I'm gonna try to hold on to my dollars and start using them again, so I don't have to sell Bitcoin every month to pay my rent. So I can kind of get off that radar a little bit.
Exactly. And I kind of have, a slight bias because I'm in one of the stricter states for Bitcoin. I'm in New York, so New York is really strict for Bitcoin businesses. So like, a lot of those debit cards, we can't even get them here.
Yeah,
So
the
that's
bit
that's a
license,
slight
right?
bias as well. But I tried to give my opinion as far as, like I said, people were unsure about spending Bitcoin in taxes at the time. And from my analysis of some of the companies that were doing the Bitcoin debit cards at the time.
Is there any precautions you're taking at the moment for taxes for the upcoming tax season? Is there anything that you're planning on bringing with you, or any specific, tax attorney you're looking at? Like, what are your plans for that season? Because it is coming up.
My specific plans for that season is I am not taking as much off the table as a lot of people are. Um, I am very, very bullish for 2018. So for me to sell uh, my positions to hold U.S. dollars, I I'm willing to risk a little bit more upside. Uh, I'm willing to risk some getting some more upside, and I'm willing to risk maybe losing some. So, but I'm more so on the bullish side as far as 2018 and cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, 2018 is probably going to be the best year percentage-wise profitability for all the cryptos in the top 10. I don't even care what's in there right now. Whatever's in the top 10, top 5, going to be the best year for them percentage-wise. After this year, I honestly couldn't tell you because this is going to be I mean, dude, I don't want to go too far high. I want to talk about it. Let me pick your braino a little bit about some of the basics because we have a lot of people that come into the space and they're still pretty new, wet behind the ears. They don't even know like what a public key or a private key is. So let me just get your explanation when people ask you, what is Bitcoin?
Okay. I was just talking to one of my friends about this. So when people ask me what is Bitcoin, that's or how to explain Bitcoin. I can say both, but it's a funny one. So Bitcoin is digital money. Now, if you are somewhat a veteran or someone who's been in cryptocurrency for a couple of months, you may disagree with me that it's digital money. So right off the bat, that may be wrong. So, but to explain it to a newbie, I'm going to say that Bitcoin is digital money, or it's just a way to hold your money, which basically is digital money. So it's a digital money that you own. No country owns it, and it's a digital money that you store yourself. And I always give them the push pull. What's happening behind the way credit cards work. So they get a little bit more of an understanding. I tell them that when they swipe their credit card, the bank pulls the money out of their account. But the way Bitcoin works, you store your own Bitcoin. So when you send somebody a transaction, you push the money to them. You control the money instead of them taking the money from you. So that gives people a little bit more of a better grasp of how Bitcoin works, kind of a little bit, and what Bitcoin is.
I think that might be a good explanation. I go way too far because I try to explain cryptocurrencies and digital currencies and fiat currencies, and I do get the deer in headlights look, so I guess I got to dial that down a notch. But I do want to ask you if you could maybe explain what a cryptocurrency is and why Bitcoin falls into that category and not digital currency.
Hmm. A cryptocurrency or a digital currency. I'm gonna say that we can call these all digital currencies just to like eliminate some of the confusion. But if I had to separate the two, I would say a cryptocurrency is what we're doing now. It's decentralized. It's on a blockchain.
Yep.
No one person owns it, even though one person may own a majority stake in it, or what we consider to be a whale. Now, a digital currency, in my opinion, would be something like the US dollar, the way we hold it in our bank accounts. It's something that has a paper form, but it also has another form in digital, which is, still the same thing, and we can spend it the same way. So cryptocurrency would be, to me, in my opinion, what we're doing today. Even though some of these things may not actually be currencies, like Gollum or something like that. They might, or Ether, which is
Yeah, your utility tokens and stuff.
yeah. So it's I like to save the technicalities for a little bit later when we get into when you get a couple of months in and you form your own opinion. Like the same way you wouldn't talk to a child about a lot of opinions until maybe he's 17, 18, or she, and they have their own opinion, or they've seen a lot of things and they can say their true feelings about it. So as far as whether it's a currency or whether it's this or that, that's later. But they're all cryptocurrencies. Just to start it off for the beginners.
Right. I like to do a quick comparison. A cryptocurrency is backed by encryption, like SHA-256, and a digital currency is centralized, like Pokemon Go coins. So Pokemon Go
Exactly.
coins, centralized digital currency, or currency on World of Warcraft, that's a centralized digital currency.
Yes.
A cryptocurrency is decentralized, like you said, and it's just encrypted. It has a means of being proven original, unique, even though it's been multiplied a million times. That's what I love about Bitcoin. When I tell people like Bitcoin's the first time you can send a digital file from A to B and prove, even though you copied it, that guy has the original one, the unique
Yes.
version of it.
And like I just want to like focus in on that point. So that's one of the things that I say when people ask me what makes Bitcoin important, or like, so what about Bitcoin? I tell them, before Bitcoin, there was no way to digitally give somebody something. I could give you a copy of it, but I give it to you. So until Bitcoin and the blockchain, you couldn't do that. So that's innovation. That's a big that's a big deal in itself.
Could you explain what the blockchain is or a blockchain is in a nutshell?
Um, what a blockchain is in a
Be-
nutshell.
because
So
I just want to say this first because everyone says the blockchain, but it's a blockchain or the blockchain is Bitcoin. But try not to get it confused when people say it's on the blockchain. It could be on Golem's blockchain. It could be on Litecoin's blockchain. It could be on Ethereum's blockchain. It's not just one blockchain. But please, could you just explain what a blockchain is in a nutshell?
So yeah, if you've been in Bitcoin for a while, that was a big thing at one point. People saying the blockchain, and people on Wall Street, and I think they were just doing that out of. At the time, I thought they were doing it out of spite, but now I look back and I think that they're either saying either of two things. They're saying that they like other cryptocurrencies, but maybe not Bitcoin, or they think that they can make a blockchain without a cryptocurrency. And if you really understand blockchain, you understand that it has to have a token of value to incentivize people to secure the network. Um, if you don't incentivize other people to secure it, then it's just a centralized database. So the blockchain, there is no the blockchain because there's multiple blockchains, and if you want to be, spiteful, you could say the blockchain is Bitcoin, if you want to be like petty and spiteful. But there is no the blockchain. There are blockchains, and it could be on a blockchain, like you said. But the blockchain is simply a way of storing transactions, or data. It's grouping data into a box. All right. So that's where the block comes in. They take the transaction, group it into a box, and they link it to another box of transactions. So this box would be box one. The next one would be box two, or block two, block three, block four. And the thing that makes blockchain and Bitcoin so special is in order for you to change block one, you have to change block 10, block 9, block 8, block 7. So you have, and it becomes very expensive. So for you to change what has happened already in block one, not only do you have to change all 9 blocks before it, you have to pay to do that. And then you only get to change that one block. So you can spend, right now, someone could spend billions of dollars in order to change one block, which only has maybe 100,000 or maybe $1 million worth of value in it. So it becomes very expensive to change very small things on the blockchain. So that's why the blockchain is so special.
Damn, bro, your nutshells are huge. All right, so I wanted to I wanted to ask, how do you use Bitcoin? How do you utilize the technology of Bitcoin to increase the quality of your daily life? Do you buy it, hold it, trade
Um,
it, sell it, use it as money? How do you use Bitcoin to make your life better?
I do a little bit of everything. I started off buy and hold. Um, my inner trader wanted to also trade Bitcoin, so I also trade cryptocurrencies. I don't trade um, Bitcoin USD. I'm against trading Bitcoin. It's too. I'm just against trading Bitcoin itself, but I will trade Bitcoin, Neo, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever like that. And I do also encourage people around me to take Bitcoin as a payment. I excuse me, I kind of shy away from that a little bit more so, unless it's a bigger transaction, because only thing that you're really doing is when you give somebody $20 worth of Bitcoin and they don't have a real interest in it, what you're really doing is throwing away that Bitcoin, because they're going to put it in the wallet, not write down the private keys, forget about it, and it's going to be stuck in that wallet forever. So we're just really decreasing the amount of Bitcoin when we do that. So I kind of try to stay away from that unless it's a couple $100 where the person is going to actually want to, pay attention to Bitcoin.
You know what? You made a good segue there. I wanted to bring up dust, wallet dust, because that's starting to become a big thing since Bitcoin has increased so much. People used to think they had just dust left in a wallet, meaning when you went to send max and you wanted to send everything out of your wallet, you were left with some dust, a couple Satoshis. But now those couple of Satoshis are worth a couple dollars. But
Yes.
the problem is the network fees. So, do you have any wallets out there you think you might have some dust in from, early days?
For sure. I have bread wallets, multiple bread wallets like that. Some green addresses like that. Yeah, I have a couple like that.
Yeah, I was checking out a couple old trading accounts like Poloniex, Kraken, Bittrex, and I
Oh yeah,
ended,
it happens
dude,
on those a lot too.
I
Yeah.
opened up Bittrex and I had Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold, and I was like, yo.
Yeah, because the fees, they're taking their little percentage, and you may not be able to do the exact math to get it all out. So you're always gonna have that on like exchanges and stuff like that.
What wallet do you use and why?
Um, so the way that I do it, I use the hot and the cold method. So I have multiple cold wallets, and a cold wallet is basically, and whether it's a paper wallet or a hardware wallet like a Trezor or a Ledger, um, and that's where you keep the bulk of your Bitcoin. So if you have a good amount of Bitcoin, maybe you want to split that up into 2 or 3 devices, and then I have ones that I use for like my donations when people donate to the channel. So I use like a Jax wallet for that, and I also use that as my hot wallet too. So, well, one of my hot wallets. So that I find that that's the best way to do it, just so people don't get to watch how much Bitcoin you have,
That's a good
just by
point.
them sending you something or something like
Can
that.
you go farther into that and explain how that's even fucking possible? Because, dude, I got messages about shit. Like, explain how that's possible and how Bitcoin's not anonymous in that nature.
So people when I first heard about Bitcoin, right? One of the main pitches of Bitcoin was that it was anonymous. People don't say that anymore. What Bitcoin is, it's not anonymous. It's what they say, pseudonymous, I
Synonymous.
think.
Synonymous.
So what were you saying, bro?
It's synonymous, I believe.
Anonymous. Okay, yeah. So what that means is basically it can be traced back to a specific address or to a group of addresses, because with Bitcoin some wallets are higher deterministic, so they're HD wallets, so they change every time. So someone can track you back to a single address or a group of addresses, and they can see how much you're holding. So Bitcoin isn't anonymous. So there are ways you could go outside, get a random phone from Walmart, download a wallet, get some Bitcoin, and then, go and buy things that you shouldn't with Bitcoin. And they'll be able to track it down to that address, but not specifically you. But now if you use that same address and send it to your Coinbase, then they're going to be able to know it was
Yep.
you.
Yeah,
So,
using Coinalysis is what they've developed to backtrack the blockchain and try to link
yeah.
identity to transactions as best as possible. What's scary is if you were to send Bitcoin to somebody for a bicycle and that person sends that Bitcoin to a guy in ISIS that they backtrack to you, you got some splaining to do. And that's real. That's what happens. And
Yes.
that's where, not to really promote it, but, to segue back into Monero. And that's where other alternative currencies do have a place to shine. And eventually things like Litecoin will have, optional confidential transactions. This might be a little bit over the head of the beginners, but I've been looking into BIP47 transactions. And basically that is a Bitcoin address that when you send, it's almost like a smart contract. When you send it to the BIP47 address, it goes to your Bitcoin wallet, a main Bitcoin wallet. But that BIP47 keeps getting changed up. So when you give it to somebody, even though they have the same address, they can multiple people can send funds to it. But when they look back at it, they don't know exactly how much has been sent to that address. And so far, I've only looked into it enough to find one wallet that's working on this, and I think it's Stash Wallet. And I believe I spoke with Philip or Joe, the guy behind Edge or Airbits in Texas, and he was looking into also including BIP47. So I was just, maybe look at wallets that include these features that support, more security, because that's really why we got into it. Like you said, everybody said it was anonymous. That's like the first thing I found out it wasn't. The second thing was it's free to send money across the world. And then next thing you know, the Bitcoin fees were like $40 one day, and I was like, wait, what do you mean free? I don't think you understand what that word means. You keep using that word, but I don't think you understand what it means.
Yeah. So just to quickly touch on the Monero and Litecoin as far as anonymous transactions, and as far as the improvement proposal, I've never heard of that. So you definitely dug deep for that one. So yeah, that was cool. But as far as Bitcoin in comparison to other coins and anonymity, Stratus is working on the Tumblebit wallet. So the Tumblebit would be a way for Bitcoin to be able to be tumbled, and that's the same process that Dash uses. So that's the way that they achieve anonymity, by a tumbling service through the master nodes and things like that. So if Bitcoin acquires this, in my opinion, only the very high market cap anonymity coins are going to survive. The lower ones that have potential and things like that, I don't think that I think that they're going to be, their market cap is going to be swallowed up by Bitcoin. And we just saw that, the way people were treating altcoins in Bitcoin's last run. People were just dumping their alts. I was getting messages and emails left and right people were like panicking. And it was a big dump, but it wasn't like that bad. And it could get a lot worse. So if Bitcoin, people are working on different solutions for Bitcoin and anonymous transactions. And if it happens, I don't know, like, I feel like that bucket, the anonymity bucket, is the most threatened as far as by Bitcoin, being eaten up by Bitcoin right now.
I didn't mean to get sidetracked. It looks like the hacked account of Trevon James was in the chat. I was very confused. I didn't know if it was actually him or if it was the hacker. It looks like it's the hacker who hacked Trevon James in the chat. So I had to block him.
Wait, let me just. I have to ask, because
dude, my hands are sweating. I'm having like flashbacks of being hacked. That shit sucks, man.
We're all, me, you, Trevon James. We're some of the early content makers, right? And Trevon's channel is still posting videos, but the videos he's been posting are from like Craig Grant. So is that the hacker posting Craig Grant's videos? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I'm like, that shit fucks me up a little bit. Like, I don't even know. Like, freaks me out just knowing that they're in the chat, to be honest. My heart goes out to Trevon if he was really hacked. Like, if he was really hacked, dude, that shit sucks. Like, I wouldn't want that, and I would never wish that on anybody. It really, dude, it feels like somebody just walks into your house, starts kicking your shit around, but it's like a ghost, like a poltergeist in your house, just kicking shit around. and there's nothing you can do about it, dude. You're completely defenseless. It's like being naked in the middle of the fucking like Woodstock, and you have no defenses, man. It's just really a bad feeling, and if he was really hacked, that sucks. But like, I don't know, like if when I was hacked, they really did some negative shit to my fucking credibility, like by posting shit, and like like this hacker seems to like not be doing that to them, and like they're in a good spot to like make people look bad, and they do usually. So like, I don't know. I mean, all I can do is speculate. So like, do I think they were really hacked? It doesn't to me feel like when I was hacked, but who knows?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know if they were hacked. And if they were hacked, like the way that, you know, with multi-level marketing, the best way to get people to join something, whatever it is that you're talking about, is to show them, to have something to show them that they could possibly achieve. So the 100 Bitcoin or whatever it is that they were showing was like the carrot. So, but they should know there's people, there are very skilled hackers, very skilled developers, and people that know computers inside and out. Why would you be showing every day 100 Bitcoin, right? And you're showing, on top of that, you're showing the address. Why would you show the address? Like I've talked to Trevon James multiple times. Like we've messaged each other like we both started making videos like around the same time. I think I started, and then Trevon, like a few months later or a month or two later, Trevon started. I saw Trevon's videos about cryptocurrency, and then I saw Craig Grant. And like, why would you show the address though? If he would have, if he would have asked me, if I would have talked to him like throughout all of this, I haven't talked to him in like 5 months maybe, or 6 months. But if I would have talked to him, I would have said, "Yo, I don't like the BitConnect thing, but why are you showing the address? Cover the address out. Just show everybody you got 100 Bitcoin. Don't show the addresses, because they're going to be able to track it back to that wallet and know that it's still there. So they know that they can attack your computer and you didn't even move it yet." So, but I don't think they got hacked though. It just doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like when I did. It feels kind of like an exit. You know, I don't know like if it's for like hiding money from the IRS, but like I heard even though if you lose money, like if you lost your private keys, you still like if you moved it from one account that's known to be yours and moved it to any other account, even if you can't prove that it's not your account, it counts as a transaction, so you have to pay for that. So if the hackers hack your wallet and move money out, that is a transaction. That's a sale at that value. They go first in, first out, so they go back to what that Bitcoin was worth when it was moved to the wallet, and what was it worth now that it moved out of the wallet, and the difference is what you have to pay on. So I've understood, even if you can't prove that, you know, you moved it to your own wallet or a different wallet or whatever, the move from the wallet they can prove is yours is what counts. Chainalysis is scary, but yeah, I think it's a BitConnect exit, dude. Greater Fool Theory is kicking in. They just knocked more levels off their downline, and I don't know, man. It doesn't look good. Like even Vitalik and Tone Vase and big voices are starting to call them out.
So on my Twitter a few months back, I put a bet. I was saying that I would bet anybody, I think it was either 1 or 2 Bitcoin, that BitConnect would disappear before it reached $1 billion market cap. Now, by technicalities, I would have lost that, but you know, they were cooking the books and all of that. So I would have lost by a cheat in technicality. But I still stand by that. I still think that it's going to disappear before it hits $1 billion market cap. And it's only going to disappear because of the way that it's being promoted. It's not good. I just think it's going to disappear real soon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And it's going to leave Bitcoin. It's going to probably leave Bitcoin a black eye too.
Yeah, let's try to get on a different note, man. Let's talk about exchanges, man. Like, what good exchanges do you use? Because, like, a lot of people try to ask me, what exchange can you use for trading? And I'm cynical, man. I don't trust exchanges because they hold the private key, so I don't use them. Just before you answer, I'll tell people what I use besides any exchange is Shapeshift, Changely, What's the other one? I'm sorry. I use Jax with. Oh yeah, Jax, Exodus, and Changely, Shapeshift, and all those things because they let me hold the private keys. And maybe it's expensive, whatever, but that's my 2 cents. But what exchange do you recommend people when they want to start like trading?
Um, if as far as trading, I've been one of my favorite exchanges um, for a long time now has been Bittrex. As of lately, I've been looking into a few smaller cap coins, and unfortunately, they're only on Cryptopia. So I have been on Cryptopia lately. Um, Coinbase, but that's different. That's not really what we're talking about. But uh, yeah, those are the ones that I use, man.
All right, all right. Is there any in particular like exchange you would tell people to avoid, and any reasons why?
Um,
I
once
mean,
upon a time it was
yeah,
once upon a time it was Yibit, but right now I think, in my opinion, it's Hit BTC. In my opinion, Hit BTC just for them. I don't know if they went through with it, but they were talking about listing BitConnect tokens. Um, just for them doing that, I just it's just kind of shady to me. And I've heard a lot of. I try not to go by he she say because people are always going to say bad things about great exchanges. People are going to have bad experiences, but I've heard a lot of bad things about Hit BTC, and for them even talking about, if it's true, for them even mentioning listing BitConnect tokens is insane. So that's kind of crazy to me, and that should set off like alarms for whoever trades there.
yeah, that is pretty weird. And I always thought, BitConnect didn't want to be on other exchanges so they could control the volume and value. That's I don't know. Anyway, I think personally that Bittrex might be Mount Goxing. I've heard way too many rumors, and what seems to have happened with Tether recently. I don't know. I've had way too many friends that told me their Bittrex accounts are frozen. I've had mine frozen for a while. Like, I just went through hell, and they finally, like I said, I had Bitcoin, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash. I had all these things, but I couldn't do anything. I could trade, but I couldn't withdraw. And I was verified, man. Driver's license, house. I had pictures of like my address on bills. Gave them my social security number. So Bittrex has all my info and froze my account still. And they just opened it. It was like four months. It was locked up, and a lot of people are messaging me. So I think people should be weary of Bittrex.
So why? So did they give? So you said that they unfroze it, so you can withdraw now,
Yeah, they didn't give me any reason why. I just kept
and they
sending
didn't
in
give you any
support.
reason why.
I kept sending support ticket, support ticket, support ticket. Eventually, they let me back in because they like locked it, and then I could log in, and then I had to re-enable it, and then I had to re-verify my identity, and it was weird. It was just weird.
That's crazy. That's insane. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about that. And when people were saying that, I thought that they were talking about Bitfinex, um, Bitfinex. But as far as Bittrex pulling a Mount Gox, I don't know. The reason that I'm gonna say that I'm kind of gonna go in the opposite direction is because the people that are involved in that exchange, they have Twitter accounts. They don't have Twitter accounts with cartoon pictures on it. They have Twitter accounts with their actual names, their actual faces. These people are, you know who these people are. Bittrex is one of the few exchanges that went out the way to pay for and get the New York City the Bitcoin
License,
license, the
yeah.
Bit license, or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to go out on the limb for any exchange, but I don't. They may be going through a lot of technical difficulties right now, and they probably don't want to panic people by speaking on it. But I don't think that they're going to pull a Mount Gox, because remember, Poloniex a few months ago, Poloniex was people were running from Poloniex and going into Bittrex. That's one of the things that boosted a lot of Bitrix's
Mm-hmm.
volume. So
Poloniex
hopefully they get it together and this passes.
Poloniex freaked me out when they got rid of that troll box because I was like, damn, they make a lot of money through transaction fees and all that marginal trading and everything else they offer on that platform, and they can't afford to pay like mods for a troll bot. I was like, I didn't like that, but I mean, it made me weary of the exchange for sure. I'm the first to be skeptical. You like, it's if you don't have your private keys, you don't have your money, and you probably got into crypto because you didn't trust banks. So I mean, if you're like, I don't want the banks to have my money, but you're cool with like Poloniex holding on to it, it's kind of asinine. It's ass backwards, if you will. Like, don't do that. But I know I have a lot of people that keep their money, they tell me, on exchanges, and they don't understand, what isn't, if you don't hold the private keys, you're not holding the money. And I have to use the analogy of like, what if the banks weren't bailed out? What would have happened to your money? Who would you have sued? They would have been bankrupt. You would have been beat. A lot of these exchanges, what was the one you said? Bitrix or no, Bitfinex. They just left the U.S. though. They're still operational elsewhere, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But that's the thing. I think a lot of these exchanges are going to be kind of elbowed out of the U.S., making them kind of forcefully exit, if you will. So even if they're a great exchange, maybe might not even have a choice. Like the government could seize servers, and there goes your private keys, on servers in the basement of the CIA or whatever, just sitting there on ice because the servers were seized wherever. I don't know. Like, I feel like the United States government's, has no bounds when it comes to stuff like this. It kind of freaks me out. Look what happened to like Kim.com and stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense what we do over the internet. It's like we want to control it. This country is insane.
Yeah, you bringing that up, that kind of like leads towards the question of mass adoption, or like what you think mass adoption is. Some people think mass adoption is Wall Street and the average investor holding some form of cryptocurrency, whether it be the actual cryptocurrency or a future or something of a form of a cryptocurrency. Some people think mass adoption is the average Joe having Litecoin or Monero or whatever. That's a matter of opinion. But in my opinion, if people think mass adoption is people, my dad or my uncle having Ether or Bitcoin, I think, in my opinion, there is going to be some kind of form of a bank. There is, like, throughout history, and that's because humans we're pattern based, and throughout history, it's always been some kind of form of a king or some kind of like somebody. Banks aren't anything new, and we've been so used to having people, the easy way. That's why we're coming up with so much technology to make everything easier. So I don't think people are going to go back to what we're doing now, writing down my private keys on a piece of paper, then ordering a crypto steal and putting my private keys in there. So if my house burns down, it won't burn. And then writing down my private keys and then putting it on my maybe my password manager or whatever. Or, people aren't going to do that. The average Joe is going to want some kind of form of, whether it's Coinbase or Gemini or somebody has my Bitcoin. I don't have my private keys, none of that. They got it. And I'm happy with that. I feel like it's going to be like that for the average Joe. Now, me, you, and the early adopters, and like I said, I tweeted out today, like, all of us were legends. Whether you're watching this, whether you have a little bit of Bitcoin, a lot of Bitcoin, whether you make content, you're a developer, we're all legends right now. So whether us, we want to hold our private keys. Well, most of us, we want to hold our private keys and stuff like that. But I feel like the rest of the world isn't going to want to do that.
Yeah, I miss Circle Pay. Every time somebody talks,
God, I miss it too.
Dude.
I love Circle. But the thing I liked about Circle was that I could buy Bitcoin off my debit card and instantly take it off of Circle and send it to my Trezor.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love that. So when Circle went down, I was like, oh man, I stopped using Coinbase for a long time. When Circle was doing that, I was only using Circle. I wasn't using Coinbase. I was buying it off my debit card instantly and taking it out.
I abused the hell out of that app, man, because they had really fast, cheap transactions. So I would just trade. I'd like day traded on Circle Pay a little bit, dude. It was bad. Like I really liked that app,
That was a good one. Yo, so I do not know. They messed that up. They are so silly.
dude.
I think they messed that up because they probably had like they had a case of the weak hands. They probably was thinking, Bitcoin is going to go down or they're going to lose some money, or they didn't want to hold. If they were thinking about buying and holding accumulating at least some of their profits in Bitcoin, they would have kept doing that because they would have been very bullish and they would have made a lot of more
Oh
money,
my
in my
god.
opinion, if they would have held some of it. The same way Overstock. Overstock, I'm pretty sure the company Overstock made a killing off of holding some of that Bitcoin that they got early on.
Yeah, man. I got two things to segue into. I'll make a quick one about the overstock. I think they said that their transactions, all in general, are like 2% or something, really low in Bitcoin. But that's because people want to hodl. They don't want to send any transactions because they want to hold their Bitcoin. But once Bitcoin kind of plateaus in price, Overstock CEO says, we're expecting more transactions. But really, the bull run's what's holding people back, not, anything else. But anyway, another app that disappeared, not disappeared, but like really let me down was lawnmower.io.
Was what?
Lawnmower.io.
No, I've never used it.
Oh, dude, it used to link to Coinbase and you could track your like portfolio, and what they did was I think they still do some stuff, but what they used to do is have an index, like a stock like S&P 500 index of like the best cryptocurrencies, and they would
Yeah.
compare it to like the stocks, and like it was just the best app. And then they stopped adding coins, and I don't think they like link with Coinbase anymore, but it used to be a really really good app. And I thought it was gonna, because you could set it up to like diversify your money, so you could almost like Acorns or Stash Wallet, like your leftover money after you swipe your card, you buy stocks, like penny stocks. It was
Hmm.
like that, where you could add cryptocurrencies. So just imagine having the top 10 cryptocurrencies, and every time you swipe your card, your leftover money bought an equal share of everything, and just put it in a wallet. And that's basically what it was building out to be, but I'm pretty sure CoinDesk or somebody bought it out and just left it to die because it was just too good of an idea, I guess. I don't it really baffles me, but it was such a beautiful idea, man. Like imagine a cryptocurrency Acorns app. Brilliant.
That definitely sounds like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, but I bet it's a nightmare if you have to talk about any kind of like, regulations. So let's talk a little bit about the ICOs and the SEC. Like, what do you think's going to happen once we start seeing more regulations? Like, do you have any ICOs coming out that you're interested in? There's a couple I am, but
Um,
unfortunately, I don't know what to talk about. Like, the US,
as
we
far
can't
as
do it.
as, as far as me being interested in ICOs, a lot of the, especially like the way ICOs have been going. Well, the last ICO I've invested in is was Tezos. So I am an investor in the Tezos ICO. The worst ICO I've ever invested in was BlockPay.
Never
So
heard of
I
it.
put a small position of a while back in BlockPay. Um, yeah. So as far as ICOs, in my opinion, if the ICOs is if the coin is worth anything, right? If it's truly valuable and it really has a lot of upside, the upside is going to happen after the ICO. So a lot of these ICOs and the way have people, have been running off with money and, just like with Tezos, they're having a feud and it's delaying the launch of the coin. And to minimize that, this is what I like to do now, because before I used to be a little bit more gun ho. I used to I was investing in a lot more projects, and I had some success with it, but I feel like it's not like that anymore. There's too many coming out, and you're gonna lose like that. Um, and you're not gonna be able to read all the white papers. Even me and my friends like we can't read. It's too many of them. We can't read all the white papers. So to eliminate that, do my research, right? Skip the ICO, skip investing in the ICO. Um, that gives me a little bit more time to do a little bit more research and see if any bad news, whether some kind of scandal some bad news about one of the developers or whatever comes out. If none of that comes out and the coin launches and I miss a 3x, so be it. But if the coin is really valuable, there's another 60x in it, so I can catch that. So I can risk, I can miss some of the first upside and then be a little bit safer and catch the next 50x. People that invested in ant shares and all that, they didn't make their money off of the ant shares launch. They made it after. So a lot of the people that really made money off of it, they bought after the ICO. They didn't buy it during the ICO.
That's a good point. Yeah, I got in around like $4 when he announced their rebrand. I just bought a couple of them to have them because I was like, oh, cool, rebrand. And that's the only reason I bought in. And then I started looking into it and I learned a lot more. Are there any like future altcoins that you're looking at for any in particular reason? Like any really good blockchain based projects that you're like, well, I really hope this succeeds, and you're kind of investing in not only to make money, but investing in the hopefulness that that blockchain will succeed, that project.
The project that I've been really, talking about and like really excited about, not only because I feel like there's a lot of upside potential as far as profits in the project. I like that they have a actual application that people can use and people could seek some kind of value in. I like the fact that they went through some early FUD that turned out to be untrue, and but they kept working, and so the price is rising again after that. So that project that I'm talking about is Obsidian, and the ticker is ODN. So I'm really excited about that project. There's a few other ones that I'm excited about, and I'm slowly scaling into them, but I'm holding back because Bitcoin is so bullish. There's a few others that I'm excited about, but as far as what I'm willing to risk getting into right now, Obsidian would have to be the only like project that's not really well known, that I think is going to be really big.
I've been pretty big on EOS for the past couple weeks. I really think they got something. That's a real. I looked into it, and that's a unique story, a unique ICO, a unique like niche. I don't know, man. I'm like, all right, let's see. And so far, I got in at $1. I took my capital out at $2.50, and I try to explain that to people a little bit. Like, I put money in, and when it goes up over double, like when I get my money back and stuff, and just some extra, I pull out my capital. And now I have no emotional attachment to any of that money. There is nothing there. I already got my money back. That's free. I don't care about it. But if EOS goes to $50, house money, you know what I mean? So
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, like you said, at that point you're playing with the house money. So it's a way to grow your holdings, and just to give you, you get to keep playing with the same ammunition in a sense. So that's a really good tool to have in your arsenal.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about what you think about like Chicago Mercantile Exchange, one of the world's biggest. It is the biggest futures exchange. Fidelity, adding Coinbase with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin to their fund retirement funds, 401ks, all that stuff. GBTC on the traditional stock market. We have Ledger X adding Bitcoin, and now Coinbase custody, which has a 10 million minimum investment and $100,000 one-time fee set up for basically billionaires to invest in Bitcoin. I want to get like your little two satoshis on like what do you think that means for Bitcoin, and is it positive or negative? Because people are starting to say like, oh, they're going to buy the futures, they're not going to buy Bitcoin, no one knows what's happening. So is this good, is it bad, what's happening?
So as far as my opinion, I was just talking to somebody about, I couldn't think of the name of it. You said the name was Custody, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Coinbase Custody.
So in my opinion, just the fact that they want to start a whole new platform for that, there's a big interest by people that have a lot of money. So that's bullish. That's definitely bullish for Bitcoin, and I would expect that these people actually want to hold actual Bitcoin, um, the way that Coinbase is doing right now, but they just want to hold a larger amount. So if they want to do that, that's very bullish Bitcoin. As far as the futures, I touched on this yesterday. So people, matter of fact, let me just do a quick. Let me do a. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it. Where is it? I want to do a screen share.
There's like 3 dots somewhere in the top right corner usually. Yo, Dennis,
Okay, yeah.
Neo. Yeah, dude, I'm like again a big. I've been big on Neo since it was ant shares. As soon as I found out what Neo was, I mean, dude, Neo's. I don't know. Even I could probably write a smart contract.
Definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm definitely bullish Neo overall.
And
I'm definitely
Dennis,
very bullish
yeah,
Neo.
Dennis said CME is like a double-edged sword, and I agree exactly. It's gonna get people interested, toes wet, and they're gonna realize, oh shit, I'm buying this like fake version of this really, unique, powerful, cryptocurrency. Maybe I should. And you know what's funny? If you're holding GBTC, you're actually holding something more valuable than Bitcoin right now. So like, I'm not giving investment advice, but if I was in a position where I got into Bitcoin via GBTC and it's trading at a premium, I'd probably sell it and buy Bitcoin itself with all that extra money, because it's like you get a little extra. You're missing the airdrops. Like if you have GBTC, you didn't get your Bitcoin Cash, you didn't get your Bitcoin Gold. I think fucking Bitcoin Diamonds next. Like you're gonna realize holding these futures and these other versions that are just not Bitcoin is actually losing money by being artificially inflated with a premium number on it. It's pretty funny that you can make money and lose money at the same fucking time.
I mean, I think, in my opinion, I think that, well, right here, I just wanted to quickly look at the Bitcoin chart, but Bitcoin is so bullish right now. It's upward. It's going up. There's no technicals. We're going to the moon. So I'm gonna skip that whole thing. But as far as the Bitcoin futures, and the same way Dennis said, it is a double-edged sword. Now, in my opinion, well, not just in my opinion, using leverage, they can make a killing, depending on how much leverage it is that they're using. Now, a common level of leverage in traditional markets in America is 1 to 50. So every dollar you control 50, they'll let you control $50 of leverage. Um, I don't know how they're going to do it with Bitcoin, and I'm not a futures trader. I used to trade a lot of forex, and I trade cryptocurrencies mostly now. Um, but using leverage, they can short Bitcoin way down. All right, they can short Bitcoin way down, um, make a great amount of money from it, and then buy the actual Bitcoin. If they were smart, that's what they would do. They would use leverage, and this is what I think that they're going to do. And I think it's going to cause a panic within Bitcoin. I think that they are going to short Bitcoin down. People are going to panic, probably sell off their Bitcoin, and then they're going to actually buy actual Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin is going to take off.
Mm-hmm.
And then how they manipulate it from there, I don't know, but I think that's going to push people to get into the altcoin market a lot more, and I think that's what's going to make altcoins moon.
I'm in the chat talking. People are saying, Tether printed $30 million today. It's been going to Bitfinex. I think I might have said Bittrex. About locking accounts. I think it might have been Bitfinex. One or the other. I'm sorry, guys. God, they're not unique enough in naming things. Bit everything.
They're not.
Just throw bit on it and they'll do it. But I think, personally, I think they might have to foot the bill on that one. If they're using stolen Tether, they're probably going to have to foot the bill on their exchange, because they didn't make sure that those tokens were being honored by Tether.
If if they're using stolen tether, I mean, or just created tether that's not backed by anything, um, what they would be using that for, the smart thing to use that for would be to go long Bitcoin on a leveraged position. So that could be if they're doing that, that could be a small portion of what's pumping Bitcoin's price. Now, I'm not saying that that's what it is, but if it comes out, this tether thing could negatively hurt the Bitcoin price. Is the gist of what I'm saying.
Gotcha, man. Yo, you know what? Let's go back with another old school question here. Why do people spell hold wrong and say hodl?
Oh, that's hold on for dear life.
But why do they
Hold on.
spell? Why does everybody spell hodl wrong?
Yeah, it's hold on for dear life, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I believe it was back when Satoshi was talking to everybody on the forums. They had a typo and then they trolled somebody for like ever, and now it's like a permanent meme. I want to get the person who spelt hold wrong originally and get them on the show, because like I just
He's
I
probably filthy rich.
oh for sure, but I just want to know if it's like. Do you get bothered by it? Like, is it like one of those things where like you sneeze in a high school photo and they put it in the yearbook? Or is it like, hey, everybody knows like I did this thing, you know? Like, is it one of those like, do you hate it or love it things, you know? So, we've been running for an hour, man. Time fucking flies when you're high
It
as
does.
fucking having fun.
It does.
That was a great chat, man. I want to get your final thoughts. What should people take away from this conversation? You know, if there's one thing, if they watched for this hour that they should take with them, you know, what is it? And, you know, let them know where they can find you on the internet. I got your links below and everything.
Um, what they should take away from this? I think that they should take away the fact that cryptocurrency is about choice. So we started off the show. I wasn't looking directly at your screen at first, but I was smoking, you're smoking. Whether you like that as a viewer or not, that's your choice. But you should be open minded enough to hear what I'm saying and to see whether, okay, I don't agree with him doing that, but I do agree with that, and that. So whether you don't like Bitcoin Cash, or whether you don't like Bitcoin Gold, or you don't like this altcoin, or you only like altcoins and you don't like Bitcoin, be open to hearing great other ideas and innovations from the other side, which may turn you on to another coin or another platform that you may find interest in, or just be open minded and realize that Ethereum going up, and you as a Bitcoin holder, that's good for the whole cryptocurrency space, because that's going to bring attention to the cryptocurrency space, and that's going to allow people to choose whether they like Bitcoin or Ethereum better. And no matter which one they like better, it's all good. It's great for cryptocurrency, and just be happy for cryptocurrency as a whole, no matter what cryptocurrency you hold.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I just looked at the price, and Bitcoin's 9,700, Ethereum's 475, Litecoin's $94, and EOS is 250. This is crazy, man. Like,
Insane.
the best time to be alive, and the best time to be involved in crypto. And thank you so much for making the time to come on my show, man. Like, this was awesome having you on. We have to do it again. I'm going to try to organize kind of like a roundtable thing. Maybe I can get some people together we can talk about, because there's so much that we didn't even get to touch on. We didn't even get to talk about forks. We didn't even get to talk about, you know, the all kinds of things, man. There's just so much. So yeah, we have to recap. Guys, if you're watching, please hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to share this so people can listen. Like you said, be open-minded. You know, most people wouldn't care if we were wearing a suit, tie, and a nice leather jacket, drinking whiskey till we couldn't stand up straight. But you know, I have a joint, and I'm literally about to go hit the gym, so I'm good. All right, all right, guys. Everybody, have a night. Buy Bitcoin. Hey, Rob Bozak, I see you in the chat. I saw you calling me. That's my brother. I had to hit the fuck you button a couple times. I'm sorry, bro. I love you. All right, guys. Peace. Have a night. Don't hang up yet, Chase.